What's up everyone, it's Jonathan again, and today I want to talk to you about my first week in Finland. So as you know, I arrived here on Tuesday. Tuesday was a pretty hectic day, so pretty much tried to get everything ready for my student apartments. Even though that didn't really work out that well, but still we tried our best and everything went quite okay. But the next day was a lot more interesting, because that's the day when we had our first introduction day. And the first introduction day went a little bit like this. Everyone was just getting around, not many people knew each other, so everything was still a bit awkward. And of course we had to very awkwardly stand up and introduce ourselves to like a crowd of 40 people, which was amazing. Besides that awkward part, they introduced us to the school, to ESN, which is an Erasmus student network. ESN is pretty much like a group for Erasmus students. Then they introduced us to VAASA, which is pretty much a student union purely for our school, the VAASA University of Applied Sciences. After that they also introduced us to the overalls, which is like a big thing in the whole student life here in Finland, and it's a pretty cool thing. If you haven't seen it, the overalls pretty much working overalls, but it's a bit different than you might think. Because every time you go to a party here, you don't get like an armband or something, you get a badge. A badge you can put on your overall. So that's like a very big thing here in Finland. Many people trying to collect as many badges as possible, so you can really see some interesting overalls here in Finland. That was a brief summary of the whole introduction day. Of course, after introduction day we already made some friends. After school I was just talking to some people I met that day, and three German people came to us and they asked us if we wanted to join them that night to go to a party, which of course we didn't deny. We decided to go to this little pub in the city center, which was very nice, very cozy. We get to know each other a little bit more, even though we only stayed there for like an hour. And then we decided to go to the club. Once we arrived at the club, which only was like 200 meters from the actual little pub, we saw this very long line. We still gave it a shot. Even though the line was very long, we still gave it a shot. But after like 45 minutes of waiting there, we only moved like 2 or 3 meters. So we decided to go somewhere else. We ended up going to this Swedish pub, not far from the actual club, which was a lot better than I expected actually. Once we got in, there were lots of Finnish people, but also lots of Swedish people, all having fun with each other, dancing. There was so much like going on, it was absolutely amazing. Like me and my friends didn't really know what to expect, but once we got there, the party was on. Party was absolutely on. We stayed there for like 2 more hours. We had a very good time, enjoyed ourselves, and then all of a sudden all the people who were partying there all of a sudden disappeared. And apparently they went to this other club, which was a more student club, so we decided to go there as well. It was still pretty late back then, but we still managed, we still went, and we still had a very good time. So once we noticed everyone disappear, we decided to just follow the crowd and head to the club they went to, which ended up being amazing as well. The first day I got here, I instantly learned that Finnish people love to party. But after all this, it was time for Thursday. Thursday was the second introduction day, which was pretty much just a day where they told us how to enroll into courses. It pretty much didn't mean a lot, but we still had to go. Like after this, we even met more exchange students, of course, and we decided to have a barbecue with all of the people we already knew. This ended up being quite a big success because we ended up being there with like 15 to 20 people. It was a great way to get to know each other a lot better. Once we were like chilling there for a bit, we started the barbecue. It started raining. Luckily it wasn't like raining that much. We still were able to actually barbecue. It was still just a little bit uncomfortable to stay out there in the open sky. After chilling there until like 10 PM, we all decided to go to a pub. It was also a very good idea, because we ended up staying there till like 1 AM in the morning. Like that, if you really want to meet some people, just take them to a bar. Take them to a bar and you'll be best friends forever. Pretty much after like 2 days in Finland, I already knew quite a lot of exchange students. I already had 2 parties. It pretty much was a great start for the new school year. After Thursday, we were free. We had no introduction day, we had nothing to do. So pretty much what I did was I went to go to some stores to get the few things I still needed, which ended up taking only a couple of hours, so it wasn't a problem at all.
Kind of blurry now.
Look at the microwave. That looks just amazing. It's still pretty sturdy, but I feel like it's falling a bit to one side. And I went to go and look for the gym. I ended up finding this Easy Fit not very far from my place. It's only like 5 to 10 minutes from here. But of course, this wasn't the end of the day. Of course, because it's the beginning of the school year and we didn't have an official like planned party with the whole exchange group yet. That's what followed that night. That night we went to the club we went to on Wednesday, and again it was pretty awesome. I met a lot more people, I had lots of fun, and it's again a memory I will not forget ever. Saturday we decided to go for a bike ride. Some people who know VAASA will know that the biggest bridge in whole Finland is only 15 kilometers from here. So we said, why not? So because the party was the day before, we ended up leaving quite late. We left at about 2 p.m. So normally on a decent pace, on a nice road, it only would have taken us maybe like an hour to get there. 3 hours later we were only halfway. The main reason was because we had quite a few pit stops, you know. We were being tourists.
Kind of fresh.
Yeah, and this type of weather it's pretty nice. I'm recording you.
Oh.
So it was like 5 p.m. and we only were halfway. So we kind of were like, should we even continue? Instead of continuing our ride, we decided to stop in the forest to pick some blueberries, which was pretty cool because I have never done something like that before. But in the end, even though we didn't make it to the bridge, we still had a great time. We burned some calories and went on a just great adventure, I guess. The funny thing is, keeping in mind that it took us 3 hours to get halfway, it only took us about 30 minutes to get back. So that shows how much we were slacking. The next day was pretty much a chill day, we all just stayed home, letting our body recover. But by the end of the day, we still ended up doing something. Because there is this old building in the city center of VAASA where you can go climbing from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really know what to expect at first because I had no clue how it would be because there were no pictures to be seen online. It might have not looked very hard. But in the end, it was still a pretty nice place. Now everyone goes like dun 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 dun. So that pretty much was my first week in Finland. It was quite interesting and a lot more busy than I expected. But I ended up having a blast, and if you're ever planning on going somewhere, if it's just to party, if it's to study, or just on a vacation, make sure to do as many things as you can because that's what makes it amazing. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. Give me some feedback if you have any, and I hope to see you next time.